Matt,
guys.
start.
Oh, sorry.
See you, brother.
Thank you.
New home, kind of, with the same people, kind of as well. So I don't know. Like,
Yeah.
does it feel like an adjustment? Does it not feel like an adjustment? What's your thought?
I don't know yet. I'm excited about it. The only difference is that now you kind of know when you're fighting and stuff like that. I'm super happy about that. That's actually why when I heard they were gonna merge, I was like, I need to get in that because if you fight for UFC or Bellator or whatever, it can be a little inconsistent when you're fighting. But here, when and where to fight. So yeah, I think it's super cool. I'm excited for it.
I was gonna ask. So did you kind of lobby for it?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
What and what was it? Was it is it the $1 million? Is it what did they say? Because the tournament structure's hard too, right? I mean, to fight that many times in a year is tough. So what was it you said? Yes.
For me, it's more like I'm in this because I want to put on exciting fights. I want when I'm done, when it's all said and done, I want the up and comers to look at me how I was looking at like the Gaddy Wards, the Holyfields, and stuff like that. The million is just the cherry on top, but this just gives me like extra opportunity to put on exciting fights, knowing when I'm fighting, and yeah, I think it's perfect.
That's awesome. Changing weight classes as well.
Yeah, because like now I gotta make weight so often, and the last like 4 or 5 times making 45 have been super super tough. So I think it's natural progression. I mean, when I started fighting pro, I was 19. I was walking around like 163, 164, soaking wet. I just turned 30 like 2 weeks ago, and the weight is a little different than it was when I was 19, right? I became a man, so it's only natural progression that I'm going up a weight class.
So it sounds like then probably lightweight, even if it wasn't a tournament or a season format where you had to fight multiple times. Like, do you think you can still do featherweight ever, or is it?
I could do featherweight, but it wouldn't be fun, and especially not in a yeah, like you said, now a seasonal format. No, like I wouldn't do that. If it was like once or two, maybe 3 times a year, but like with longer span in between, I could definitely do it. But yeah, it's actually something I've been thinking about for a couple of years. So it was only nice to finally be like, yeah, you know what, fuck it, let me move up.
I like it.
Yeah.
Were you doing anything to change in your? I mean, were you like now that you're up a weight class, do you try to put on more size, or is it just like now
No,
the cut is
definitely I'm not trying to put on more size because I think that's something that people do wrong. I think back in the day people were like, oh, the bigger I am on fight night the better, but now I actually think that it seems like guys are getting away from that notion that it's better just being closer to your actual weight and just like cut less so you can be fresh on fight night, because size, yeah, that's an advantage maybe for like 2 minutes around, maybe a round and a half. But then usually if you've been cutting a lot, you also gas quicker. So there's pros and cons about everything, right?
nice.
Yeah.
Have you been trying to get any advice on like how to approach the season format and fighting that many times? Is there anything anybody that's giving you any good tips on how to manage yourself or prepare yourself?
No, I think it's just, not having to. It's a marathon, it's not a sprint. So don't kill yourself too much every day. You gotta not get injured and make sure that you can make it to the eventual final, right? So train smart and not, yeah, of course hard, but the right and smart way, right? And I also think that's a good point of me moving up because when you have to if I would have to make it to featherweight, I would have to cut more calories, which would make it harder for me to recover and all that stuff, which it just makes sense moving up to lightweight, yeah.
Newcomer in your first matchup, what do you think? Have you broke him down? Or?
He seems like a solid grappler and a very physical, strong guy, but yeah, mad respect to him. He seems like a gamer.
Nice. Last thing for me, I guess, what's the goal in this first fight? Potentially 4 on the way, so I guess what's the goal in the first fight? Is it just, stay healthy, or is it, do something special in your debut? What's the plan?
I just want to put on an exciting fight. Win, lose, or draw, I just want to put on an exciting fight. Yeah.
Have you let yourself get excited yet about some of the other people that are competing in your division, and like kind of looked at like, hey, I want to fight this guy next, or I'm going to watch this fight, or anything like that, or are you solely focused on what you have ahead?
I mean, I'm solely focused on what I have ahead. Of course, I've seen who's in the division, but I would think it would be very disrespectful to my opponent to look at other guys right now and be like, yeah, I want to fight that guy. And I got a Canadian badass, like he calls himself, to take care of first. So, yeah.
This is your first time playing in Las Vegas, right?
Yep.
Are you excited about that?
Yeah, that's cool. This is like my second home. I got all my friends and stuff coming to the fight, so that's going to be good.
Obviously, your teammate Jeremy didn't get the result he wanted, but what do you think of the fight and his performance?
To be honest, I haven't seen the fight, so I don't know. To be honest, it's a bummer he didn't win. Of course, like I was hoping he was gonna get it done, but I haven't seen the fight.
What was the jersey choice today?
It's because Shaq, he's the most dominant player of all time. It's my favorite player of all time. Yeah, that was the reason why I put that on. Yep.
Cool. Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate you.